Welcome to another episode of the Protein Bros Podcast. I am your host, Jeff Wasserman, and as with me, as always, is my co-host, Kyle Cole.
Sup, guys?
That was really good. That
You like that? I felt like it was confident.
Infectious, some would say. With us, we have a very special guest today, Missy. Pronounce the last name for me perfectly.
Wilt.
Just like it sounds.
Just like it sounds, like Wilt Chamberlain.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, is there a silent P in there?
Yeah. P-W-I-L-T.
Yeah.
Wilt.
Missy Wilt.
You should have tried to say it with the P. That would have been good.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, you can.
But Missy is the proud owner of Phoenix Fitness.
For women.
Right? For women specifically, by women. And this is a boot camp specific gym. Is that right?
Yeah, we do HIIT workouts. We do personal training, small group. We do specials.
You do one-on-one training as well there?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
We do it all. We do mobile training, tandem training, small group, everything.
Missy is a big name in the fitness community. Wherever she goes, lots of women follow. And we've noticed this for the course of like 3-4 years. So Phoenix is relatively new though. When did that open?
In June of 2021.
Okay, so this is cool.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're a year in. Yeah,
just
about 200 members.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, doing pretty well. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Yeah. We're okay. So this is cool. We've known you for a few years, but your story starts way before. As far as fitness goes, that was later on in the game, right? Like this is like just in the last few years, more or less.
Well, the last few years I've been personal training. I've always trained. I probably started when I was 14, coaching basketball.
Oh, I apologize. I meant like making money through fitness.
Oh, making money through fitness.
Like fitness in the fitness industry.
Yes.
Last few years, but it's always been a passion of yours.
Correct. Yes.
We want to start over from the beginning because, like I said, when you guys meet Missy, you'll think she is just like a fitness rock star. She is, but she's got her own story. She didn't just you weren't always, a fitness person. You were the athlete first.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is that accurate?
I was always just known as a basketball player. So I played basketball all the way until I was about 32. I played semi-pro, professional, collegiate. And so on the side, I'd always train, mostly athletes. Mm-hmm. And so I got this idea of what a cool concept of taking the athletic training that I did and making it where all women can do it. Because, you look at athletes and the way they move, and we never just move on one plane. We're always moving on different planes. The same thing as on a daily basis. So I took that concept, programmed it, write the program, and it works. We modify for people of every age, size.
All fitness levels are cool.
All fitness levels.
Yeah.
I mean, my 12-year-old niece could do it, and my 63-year-old mom can do it. So it's pretty cool. So it's just taking that athletic
in the same class too, huh?
Absolutely.
That's so cool.
That's what's up.
That's just awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
That's something you can really, obviously like a lot of kids and their parents are bonded together through that too.
Yeah. Moms.
Tell us about, so that's pretty cool that you played athletics at such a high level, or you played basketball at such a high level. Do you come from like an athletic family, or where did that come from?
I don't know. I think that I was just thrown into it. No, I don't really come from an athletic family. My parents have no clue about sports. My mom's a doctor, worked her entire life to become a doctor. So I've watched her work hard. When I was about 13, I grew up in Lone Jack. It's a small town. When I was about 13, I got noticed by a coach, and they're like, "Oh, you're really good at this." And I'm like, "I am. I just like doing this."
Yeah.
And so then I got picked up by some AAU teams, and my school I graduated with 26 people.
Damn. Wow. So AAU teams are like the traveling teams,
absolutely,
right? So
yeah.
Really good teams.
So I got picked up by a Kansas City team. Here I am, this like weird looking small town girl.
What's the team name? Sorry.
It was a Kansas City Dream Team.
Okay, cool.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I'm 41, so. But I got picked up by that city team, and I played basketball all the time. But not only that, like from the time I could drive, I would drive from Lone Jack to Lee Summit, which is about 20 minutes. I'd leave my house at 4:30 in the morning, pick up my best friend, and we would drive, and we would go meet a personal trainer, and we would work out every morning before school. So that hard work was ingrained, and then after school, we would just play.
Yeah.
In my driveway, like
your days were like what, 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, or?
Oh, it was later than that. When my dad put lights up in our driveway, we'd have the cars on. We would just play. It was like entire Lone Jack was at my house.
That's so much fun.
That's what's up.
Those are some golden memories.
I know, right? Yeah.
That's super cool.
So when you were, in the beginning, when you were working, trying to get better at basketball, starting to work with a trainer, is that kind of where you fell in love with fitness?
I did. I remember G.I. Jane came out.
Yeah, dude, Demi Moore, jacked.
She was jacked. And I remember watching her, and I was like, and she did these upside down like chin ups. So she was hanging upside down, and then
the crunches.
And I said, I could do that. And so we had this bathroom at Lone Jack at our high school, and I would hang from it in the bathroom, and I'd practice until I got caught by my English teacher. And she's like, "Hey, we can't do that.
You're gonna break your neck. You can't hang
you were
upside
hanging
down.
upside down.
I went in the bathroom. Yeah.
That bracket that goes across like the handicap stall.
Absolutely. I looked at it as an opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I'm glad you saw that movie versus that other Demi Moore movie. What was the other one that was like a stripper movie?
Oh, yeah.
Striptease.
Came around at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
both great movies for different reasons.
A lot of young girls getting influenced 2 different ways here. You know what I'm saying? Awesome.
That love for fitness. And then I had a trainer, and he actually trained me for free, and me and my best friend. Just for fun. Like, we'd go in there and we'd work out. And so then we would just play basketball. So that love was ingrained.
Is that gym still here?
No, it was Summit Fitness.
I was going to say.
It's now a Genesis.
R.I.P. Summit Fitness, one of the many
Genesis
local
gets everybody.
to switch to Genesis.
I know. They bought them out. That was my jam. So that love like continued. And then when I played college basketball, we would lift all the time. And then professional. I mean, I had a crazy coach.
What's playing professional basketball like?
It was a little bit grueling.
Yeah.
I had never had, and no offense to female coaches, but I never had a female coach before. I'd always had men coaches. And the difference and the style of, she thought she had to be ruthless. And I remember one time we were running line drills, and she wouldn't let us stop until someone threw up. I remember stopping and looking at our big poster, who was like 6'5", and saying, "Girl, you better throw up."
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to throw up.
Yeah.
So she finally threw up. And so she threw up for the team. But she would just run us. Like, there was like no skills. Like, it was just run. And then we would do a lifting workout, and then we would do a pull workout. It was like constant all day, every day, for not making very much money.
Coming from somebody who is probably, you'd been with a trainer for a long time, you probably were looking at that situation like, why are you having us do this?
Yeah. Why are you overworking us?
If you make it into, if you're a pro athlete, it's like the conditioning portion is pretty much there. It's like you need to make the group cohesive and be able to play together. Am I right?
Yeah, I agree. And that's that one thing that I got from, like, I liked having the different coaches. I had a hardcore coach in college, and he would call me names like kids wouldn't be able, he wouldn't have a job if he talked how he did to me. But that's just how I did well. He saw potential in me, so he's like, I'm gonna.
I had coaches in college that were like that too. They would say things that were like unspeakable, but it's like
demeaning.
If you have trust, like, so if you build trust with the people that are playing underneath you, if you feel like your coach ultimately has your best interest in mind, it's almost like they can call you names, and it's like they don't sting. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I know you care about me. I know you're like up my ass purely because you want me to do well. But where coaches get into trouble is when they start calling. Because I also had coaches that would call kids that they didn't have that trust with names, and it would just destroy them. Yeah. So
and he would always like come back, and I think I learned a lot from those experiences on how I want to coach. Yeah. Because with him, he would do this in front of the team.
Of course.
And then to the side, he'd say, "Hey kid, I'm proud of you." And I was like, "Oh, I know you're proud of me, because guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to work for you." Yeah. I remember I had the hardest time taking a charge, and he thought that I didn't like contact. It wasn't that. It's just I wanted to get the ball and go score on the other end. Yeah. And so if I could play defense and still, why do I need to take a charge? And we sat in a practice, and he made everybody on my team run until I took a charge.
Like full speed right at you until you
full speed. And they were yelling at me. They were calling me names. They're like, "Just take a charge. Let's go take a charge." And I was like, "I'm trying. I'm trying, I promise." So from that point on, every game I took a charge.
Wow. Did you have, so this is an interesting concept, because we've had on, a ton of people on the podcast, many women, but no one had talked about like being coached by a woman versus a man and that difference. And we don't know anybody that's been coached by women. So if you had any other
I had a woman triathlete coach when I was really little.
How was that? How was that for you?
Well, let's just stop my question so we can talk about Kyle.
Well, you're saying it like every coach that I've ever had.
Hold on. Missy's question isn't as important. Kyle, tell us about your childhood.
Well, you were saying it in a way like you knew every coach that I've ever had.
How was your 4th grade tri coach?
And anyways, it was like 3rd grade through 6th grade. I should have said
I had swimming lessons by a female when I was 5.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Did you have swimming lessons?
Absolutely. I know how to swim.
Okay. Well, that's not a coach, buddy. That's an instructor.
Oh, wait. Lots of difference there. Okay. Yeah. So to
undermine
my question immediately. All right.
So I think if you think back to time periods, and I was 40. So this was early 2000s when I was.
I'm sorry, but you just had to say something. You look phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
40. You said you were 41.
41. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Would you ever have thought that?
No, I thought you were
I
probably.
thought you were younger than me.
I thought you were younger than me too.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not. No.
this is crazy.
So this
People think Jeff's 50 though, so
Also true. It's okay.
not to interrupt you for the millionth time. Sorry.
If it's ripping on me, it's always okay in Kyle's mind, but it's all good.
So I think, and I at the time you don't think of these things, but as you're looking back, she just did what she thought she needed to do, and tried to do her dominance to us, because being assert herself as a female coach, because it's early 2000s, there's not very many female coaches. She had 2 male coaches under her, so she had to have this demeanor about her, instead of just being like, listen, we care about you guys. We're not going to run you to the ground. We know it took a lot to get to this level. So we're not going to run you into the ground. I remember her and I had never butted heads with anybody. I'm like the most easygoing person ever. And I remember her talking to me and she's like, you and I just butt heads. And I'm like,
do?
I said, do we? Because I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Like, this is my face. Like, And I think it's just because of her, like, doing and treating the players the way that she did, and I would just sit back and I'm like, I don't understand like why you're being like this.
Yeah,
like it's not necessary. Honestly, she didn't make it the entire season. She had a mental breakdown.
Did she?
And then the male took over.
Wow.
So that was my experience as a female coach. Having a female coach, and I didn't have another one. So being a female coach, coming out of that, I coached. I became a teacher. So I was coaching at Center High School in Kansas City. Got the head coaching job right out of college. And so I went in there and I had to decide what type of coach I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be assertive, but I wanted the kids to know that I loved them. And so that line was crossed a little bit where I kind of took on too much. Like I was like, of what was going on with them at their
players coach too much.
Yeah. And it was just,
on a personal level, you're saying?
Yeah. It was like, I felt
you.
their pain. Like they didn't want to go home sometimes. And I would buy them dinners and I would like do all of these things. And as a young teacher, you're like you just want to help everybody. And so then as I grew as a person, as I grew as a coach, and then I got hired at Staley as assistant coach, and I decided what type of coach I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And it was hard being an assistant. I'd never been an assistant before in my entire life. Mm-hmm. And so another lesson learned on how to kind of take a back seat. I'm not a back seat kind of person. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself and watching someone else take the lead. And it was very helpful in like personal growth. And then we decided to have my daughter, she'll be 7 in a couple weeks. And I had to decide if I was going to coach basketball or be a mommy, because you can't do both.
Right.
And it makes it so hard for that career. Like you see these women coaches, but I would have never seen her. It would have been really hard to, teach all day and then practice or go to games and not be home until 9:00 at night. And so that's when I was like, well, I have this training. I've been doing it on the side anyways. Mm-hmm. So I decided to hang up my coaching basketball. And I still coach some summer stuff and all that stuff, and become a mommy. And that's what I did. And so then now here we are.
Yeah.
But it's been so cool that you've been able to continue to train athletes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you still get to be heavy in the culture,
right?
But do it in a different way.
Yeah. And I tell my women, even the women like that come in and sometimes when I sit, the first thing they say to me is, I was never good at PE. I'm like, do I look like a PE teacher? I was actually a history teacher.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even a PE teacher. Everybody always thinks I was PE, but I wasn't. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, it's okay if you're not good at PE. Who's good at PE?
Yeah.
Right.
And
none of us have any awards for our PE class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's
right. I think that's it's like a defense mechanism when somebody hasn't worked out in a long time. They're like, don't expect a lot of me. I'm just, just be easy on me.
People always just spill their insecurities right out there.
They do. And I knew that's it. And I'm like, well, I'm not your PE teacher. Yeah. I'm your coach in a different way. And so this whole concept of, you always want to try to find your purpose in life. And so like, what is my purpose? And as I was a teacher, I remember my last year as a teacher, and I remember sitting there with my students. I was AP US history teacher, AP psychology. And I remember sitting with my students, and they'd walk in, and the very first thing that I would want to do is give them life lessons. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to talk about history. I was like, let's talk about life. Like, let's talk about like, hey, how are you actually doing? Yeah. Like, hey, I know this big AP test is coming at the end of the year, but let's talk about like what. And I knew at that point that I was done.
Yeah.
I was done being a AP US history teacher, because although history is very important, believe me, it is very important. But I saw these kids go through so many other things that I knew that I was shifting in my life. So that's when I decided to.
You felt more led to do other things besides teaching them history. You're like, they need way more than that.
They do need way more than that.
I've heard a lot of teachers say that, like, to do it for a long time, you kind of have to shut your brain off.
You do.
Because you kind of almost, not that you go into like autopilot mode, but you're teaching the same things over and over again. It's just one of those repetitive type jobs, and a lot of jobs are repetitive, but it seems like teaching could get really like that, especially if you're trying to help people, really help people. Which, teaching is important. Some of the most influential people that I've had in my life were teachers, but it's just, I can see how you could get tired of it.
Right. And coaches. Yeah.
I was going to say, my girlfriend, her volleyball coach meant a lot to her, and she still talks to her to this day.
Yeah. That's my college coach. Still talk to him to this day. I learned so much from him. So then at that point I said, I knew, and I think it's important for people to know at what point is it time to move on. Because if you're not given, I'm a 100% person. I knew I wasn't given 100%, and it wasn't fair to those kids to, sit there and not learn about AP because what's their AP US history that they have to take a test for. So I
Kyle didn't get into AP classes.
No, I didn't.
They let anybody into AP classes now.
Really?
Yes, they do.
Wow.
Doesn't that stand advanced placement?
It does.
Hey, real talk, I didn't get into AP classes either. So.
I always had my students write an essay at first. I was like, oh gosh.
Oh no.
This is my Facebook.
They do all sorts of weird teaching stuff. My wife is a teacher too, and her last year before she quit, she was showing me how they solve like math problems now. And I was like, I couldn't go back to school because I'm like, just add the, numbers. It doesn't seem that hard to me. And they have like a whole new way of doing it.
I know. Our daughter is she'll be in first grade. And I'm like, I can't, when she gets to second grade, I'm lost. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do math anymore.
Yeah.
They do it all different now?
They do everything different.
It's weird, dude. When she showed
how
it
they
to me,
count on their fingers is different.
Yeah.
Do they still do the ABC song at least?
They do.
Gosh,
that.
dang.
I sing the ABC song to my kids every night.
Yeah, I'm like, do they change everything?
My 2-year-old can sing the ABC.
Luke, did you learn cursive? I had to learn cursive.
Yeah,
you had to learn cursive?
Our daughter
You
goes
just
to
got out of high school,
so she does learn cursive.
Yeah, it's just so you can sign checks when you get older, so you can pay bills. That's pretty much the only thing you use cursive for now, guys.
Yeah.
Sad.
That's all right.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Well, they teach you cursive too, and then I was like, well, I don't have to use this, and so now I don't ever write cursive. Do you guys write cursive?
Mine's like print cursive.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the way I write. I don't care.
Mine's only when I sign people's names from Airbnb on the sign-in thing because it's speakeasy style. Throw it in some cursive. That's about it. It's embarrassing. And honestly, my handwriting's horrendous.
Mine is too. The women at the gym complain when I write on the board. I'm like, it's only for my eyes. They're guys. I don't know why
like,
you need to read
it. My mom
it.
was a doctor. What do you want from me?
I know. She writes exactly like I do.
It's just scribble.
I can vouch for that. Jeff's handwriting is terrible. If I have to forge something on a document, he's like, just sign my name. I'm like, I can't write that bad.
Dude,
I literally can't.
It's like,
just draw a cartoon river.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just the top of a river when you were like in second grade. There's my signature. So, anyways, you felt led. All right, hey, I'm done with teaching.
Yep.
I'd like to go full-time fitness.
Well, it was kind of a path to that point because I started personal training first at a gym, and I feel very blessed that I was hired there, taking a chance. I'd done it on the background. I've done group fitness a lot. I've personal trained, but I had never been at a gym to personal train, just group fitness. Because to me,
was this in Overland Park or was this a different one?
That was in Overland Park, yeah.
Okay.
So then I got hired, great fit. It was beautiful, just did boot camps. It was
brand new gym.
It was a brand new gym. Right. Yeah, it just opened a month prior to that. So I was only the second trainer that they hired, and it was just such an awesome atmosphere. I felt every time I walked in there, I just felt happy. My daughter at that time was 15 months old, and I take her with me. She loved it.
What's her name, by the way?
Kinley.
Oh, beautiful name. Yeah.
She's awesome. One day you'll have her on here.
Yeah.
I love that.
She's cool.
Should be a pro basketball player too.
She really likes basketball a lot.
Yeah.
Is that the sport she's taking to the most?
She's got.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. And soccer.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, my kid likes soccer a lot too.
It's good for him, by the way. It's a good, even if they don't play soccer, it is a good thing to start him in.
Yeah.
Just so you know, for footwork.
Yeah. That's definitely something that she really.
You have them in both now. They're killing it, right?
Yeah. She's a good little athlete for sure. Yeah.
So you're starting off. You're 15 months in now. This is something that seems consistent in your story is that you did best when you were given autonomy
Yeah.
and given some freedom. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean? Were you given that there?
I was given freedom. I was fed clients, like just, here's this one, do an assessment. My sales rate was like 99%. If they did an assessment with me, they signed up.
Nice.
I think I only had like one person, and I took it to heart. Like I was like, tell me why.
Yeah.
So I was very successful. So I did that. I would go teach all day, and then I would go train all night, which became like I was coaching. Good thing I have a good partner. I had a breastfeeding baby. Like
Shout out Cam.
yeah, shout out Cam right there. So she'd run her in, I'd breastfeed between clients, and like we just had a good thing going. By the time summer hit, I was, started that in end of January. Summer hit, had about 50 clients, 3 boot camps, couple small groups. I was doing pretty well. And so when you see the cha-ching, I realized that I can make more money being a trainer, which is crazy, than being a master degree teacher and a coach. And it's less time because you do your own schedule. And so then I started really thinking about it. We got pregnant. I was pregnant with our second daughter. So that next year was 2017, I got pregnant with our second daughter while I was training and I was teaching. And everything was going great. Like it was great. We felt like was living life. I was, doing awesome as a trainer. Brought an idea by the owner, like, hey, let's open up a boot camp. Great. At first I was like, no, I need security. It's that like jump.
Yeah, we're pregnant with our second child.
You
got to have these guarantees, these benefits.
Yes. I needed it all. Like I needed to. So rolling into summer of 2018, I had agreed upon it, but in a way of like, okay, I kind of knew that this is my last year teaching, but I was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. If that makes sense. Because as a teacher, you sign a contract. And then you have to teach the entire next year. So I had already signed a contract for 2018, 2019. Well, summer of 2018, I didn't have any complication. I was teaching a boot camp. I was 36 weeks pregnant. I started not feeling well. It was July 3rd, 2018. I wasn't feeling well. And so then I went to the doctor. She was at work. So I called my sister. My sister's like, go to the emergency room. Like something's not right. My blood pressure was really high. So, and I went in there and they checked me and they said, you're okay. The baby's okay. They sent me home, and then I went home. I laid on the couch. I said, I'm just not feeling good. And so then we went back. They called the doctor. They said, come back in. So they admitted me to the hospital, monitored. Her name's Harper. Harper all night. They should have delivered her then, to be honest with you. If you look back, so it's like July 3rd, about to be July 4th. And they didn't take it serious. I was very healthy, didn't have any issues during my pregnancy. And I think that they just looked at me as like this healthy pregnant woman instead of looking at the entire picture. And that
they had plans the next day.
I think so. But you never know. Like it's hard to say. You want to go back and like, I wish that I would that's why I always tell women, like, speak up for yourself.
Sure.
You always want to like, if you're feeling something, like, don't just be like, don't let them say, cause they used to say, oh, she's riding low. And I'm like,
take up space.
Yeah. I'm like this. They're like, you're a small person. Like, I'm not really, like, I have enough, I stretch. I've had another baby and it was fine. She's fine. So then they sent me home July 4th. And I just remember July 4th, 2018, we were sitting outside. I was just like, I don't feel good. I just don't feel good. But I had planned to go back to the hospital July 5th because they wanted to check me. They gave me a steroid shot for her to grow her lungs because they were going to deliver her. So July 5th, we were there and it was just like weird. So they did checked her. She wasn't moving as much as I liked her to, but the doctor was like, I think it looks good. So they sent me home again, but then we were coming back July 6th to deliver her. Right. So induced me to deliver her. Right. So that night.
Was that you? So you were 36 weeks at that point?
I was 36 weeks. Yeah. That night.
And for our listeners, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of listeners that are young dudes that listen to this.
Oh, sorry.
What? No, just what's full term for everybody at home weeks wise?
37.
So you're full term.
Pretty much. Yeah. Almost. They wanted to make sure that her lungs were
fully developed.
Sorry, guys. This is a good thing for you to listen to, though.
No, it absolutely.
Yeah, we have 3 people in our company
in.
right now that are about to have kids. So.
Yeah. So I always tell the story too, because as we move on through the story, you'll understand why that could help save some babies' lives. So then July 5th, I remember going to sleep. I'd actually ordered some stuff on Etsy for our daughter who was almost 3 because her birthday's August 7th and this was July
coming
5th.
Up on birthday season for her.
Correct. So so we were excited. Ordered big sister, little sister stuff. And I remember talking to my belly and I was like, Harper, you're not moving. And like, mommy wants you to. And I try to, and then my sister,
push and see.
Yeah. And I tried to push, see. And my sister was like, do you want to go to the hospital? And I was like, well, I'm supposed to go back July 6th. And it was like 8 hours from then. I was like, oh, it's all right. I think she's just tired because they were moving her around a lot on July 5th. So that morning I woke up and I called my mom. She was at work and Cameron was, and I said, Mom, do you want to, she's like, no, I'm going to go with you. I said, okay, cool. So I stopped at Tropical Smoothie in Lee Summit. I was taking my sweet little time. I had my little overalls on, looking like a cute little pregnant girl. Yeah. I get into there. My mom met me there, thank God. And the nurse pulled me back and there wasn't a heartbeat. And I remember like my mom grabbed the thing from her and my mom like pushed and she said, what do you mean there's no heartbeat? So just less than 24 hours before, 12 hours before, there was a heartbeat. And within that time period, her heart just stopped for no reason,
Was her head on the umbilical cord?
Nope.
Wow.
There was no answers. I'll be honest with you. So then I said, get her out right now. Because in my mind, you think, oh, it just happened.
Yeah.
This just happened with Savor. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there, sometimes when you go through a process like this, I remember every single thing. I remember the smells. I remember what the doctor said. I remember all of this. And I remember the surgeon coming in to do a C-section and he said, we can't do this because you just ate. I said, huh? He said, you said that you said that you just ate a tropical smoothie. And I said, yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
He's like, well, that could be dangerous to you. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And I looked at my mom. She still was at work, and I can't even imagine. I'm sure she has her own story of the phone call that she received.
For sure.
And just like, what do you mean you can't get her out? Let's revive her. She's going to be okay. And then my doctor came in, and she's awesome. She came in. She was actually on vacation, and she came in, and she said, I think it'd be best if we just induce you, and we're going to get you through this. And so 27 hours later.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Pitocin, probably the whole deal, which that process for anybody who's listening is not a fun thing to go through even with, not having to deal with, a stillborn baby, but ugh.
And they don't tell you, and this is part of women's health that is not spoke about a lot, is that they don't tell you while you're going through that, they ask you your funeral home. Is your baby going to be cremated?
Oh,
they ask you all of these questions. And I remember just sitting there like this.
Not kind of in shock.
Yeah.
How else could you describe that? I mean,
it is, and there wasn't a lot of support. I have an amazing family, and they did not leave my side. As I was delivering her, Cameron was there, my mom was there, my sisters were there. And it's just, and I remember because you guys don't know this, but as you're having a baby, you just know when to push. Your body, it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I need to push. And I remember thinking, I'm going to hear her cry. And we're going to be it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And then
you're just an eternal optimist person, which I love. By
the
way.
And I thought it's going to be okay. And I was praying. And then when she came out and she wasn't crying, I just remember thinking, this cannot be real. Yeah. And so when something like that happens, a tragedy of any sort, it could be we lost a child, it could be a parent or anything, your entire life and how your outlook changes.
Perspective shift.
Yeah, it is completely. And so to me, history wasn't important anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It was let me teach you about how valuable this next minute is and how valuable, I didn't know. We had our baby shower July 2nd. And I was happy. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have 2 beautiful daughters. And by the way, when she was born, she was perfect. We have mixed daughters, obviously. Mm-hmm. And she had the black curly hair. She had 1 blue, 1 brown eye. She was 21 inches long. I call her a little snake, 6 pounds, 21 inches. And you tell me she wouldn't have been okay.
Yeah.
She would have been just fine. And so you think of all of this. And I remember holding her and she was perfect.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with her. Nothing at all wrong with her. And you ask all the questions what happened? And there's just no answers. And so it makes your entire being, we hid out for about a month. We didn't talk to anybody. I withdrew from the gym, but then we did a lot of soul searching and I decided you got to get up. I said, you have another child. You have to figure out life. You can't just sit there and so I think, and you think of things happening for a reason. And and I hate saying this, but it does make you a little bit more relatable and more human. It humanizes you when like people look at me and they're like, oh, you play professional basketball, you're in shape, you do all these things. Well, number one, I work really, really, really hard. Number two, I have this tragedy, this awful thing that like is in my soul every single day. And so because of that, no matter like whatever you've been through in life, that's why I tell my women, we can get through this. Like it sucks. Like it sucks as you like are going through like all the pain and like just the grief and all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, each day you're like, I can do this. I can do this. And I think that like, we're very real. We're very real people. And I like to tell my story because it's very relatable.
Yeah.
It helps women see that like I could have decided to just lay there and just, cause I wanted to just be like, you know what, I'm going to lay here and I'm going to forget about everything. And then I look over and I see her and I see my almost 3-year-old who is just a perfect human being. I'm like, get up. Yeah. Let's go. Right. And to this day, our daughter, Kinley, she talks about her baby sister, Harper. And sometimes she cries. And sometimes she's like, why is she in heaven? Why can't she be here? So usually summer's a little harder for us because July 7th is her birthday. Yeah. August 7th is Kinley's birthday. So we have that time where we're just like, okay, now Kinley will be 7 in August. So we spoil her. And it's not in a way of like, we're trying to make her into this spoiled little girl, but it's our way of celebrating her. Yeah. So like we go to Great Wolf Lodge, we have like 3 birthday parties for her.
Well, I think that's amazing. I grew up 7 years younger than my older brother. Mm-hmm. My older brother actually had an identical twin, and he passed away at 2 months old. His babysitter sat him down on a waterbed on his belly. And so one of those things where I grew up always wishing like, oh man, like my older brother would have like saved me in that situation where like my brother beat me up or something and be like, oh, he would have been like the cool brother that would have like stuck up for me and stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm sure she'll have some cool Harbor stories. And
yeah, she loves baby dolls. And I always think that that's her way of like showing us that she would have, take care of a sibling. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, we've talked about adoption. We talked about all of these different routes, but if it doesn't happen, we're like, it's okay. We have a really cool daughter that we get to do a lot of fun things with. So.
For sure. Absolutely. Like you were saying earlier, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And that's like a really, really tough thing to go through, but it gives you like, it's a way of, you know, drawing strength from that situation. And, you know, you also want to honor, you know, Harper, you know, and doing that through, you know, like you were saying, getting up off the couch and kind of getting, you know, back to your life is
impacting women's lives everywhere. It's like your absolute gift. You know
it is. I mean? And I tell him like, there's the reason why I do this is because I want this, I want her legacy to live on, and I want our daughter to have a chance to, if she decides one day to take all this over, it's going to be hers. We'll set her up. We'll be like, hey, you know, if you want to, you know, go get your kinesiology degree and business degree, here we go, girl.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I just set it up. But I think it's more than that. I think it's impacting people's lives is so important, and making sure that women are not only like, we're not just working out to look good, because everybody, and I tell women this all the time, and it's so hard to get through their head. Everybody looks different. Everybody's physique's different, and that makes us cool. Yeah. Like if we all look the same, how boring would that be?
For sure.
So you have women that aren't going to be, if they come in and sit down and say, hey, I want the body like yours. I'm like, well, the problem is let's start with Dawn and Rhonda Wilt. Yeah. Because those are my parents. So let's start there, genetics, and let's start with and also the hours and hours and hours and hours of basketball and working out that I have done since I was 13 years old.
For sure.
And so everybody is going to be so, so different. And, you know, I went through stages of life where I've never hated working out, by the way. You know how when some people say, like, you go through this, like, and you stop and you get tired of it. I've never went through that. I don't understand that, because to me, like after we lost Harper, I went to the doctor and I said, when can I start working out again? Yeah. I just need to work out. And so she released me 3 weeks in because I had to. I was like, I need that release, and I need that. And I try to tell people like that it's more than just working out. It's this release. It makes you feel better. Yeah. It makes you feel better about yourself. It makes your depression better. It makes everything in your life better once you just get that little fire.
I'm on the same page with you. Like working out for me has always been that. And you know, I work out every day.
And like hard workouts for him too.
Yeah, I literally got to feel like I'm going to die. And once I feel like I'm going to die, then I'm like, okay, now I'm good for the rest of the day. Yes.
I love it all.
Yeah. Like not being able to breathe.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are crazy. I'm definitely on that camp.
So tell us, you obviously you went through the by far the most tough thing anyone could probably go through. One of the most tough things that anybody could go through. How did you go from that to like, you know what, let's open a business?
Yeah, the climbing out part is what I'd love.
Yeah, I'd love to hear
now.
like
Just that transition, because I know you made that decision, and you're, hey, I got this, I've got Cam, I've got Kenley, I've got a great life. I need to, do something here. What was the next step?
The next step was just the opportunity was set out in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when things are presented to you, it's an open door and it's a jump of faith. So you have to decide, like, do I want to stay where I'm at and, just kind of sail through life, or do I want to find like the best version of what my life should look like? And so here goes the jump of faith and the open door. I literally just flew through it. And it was a brand new gym, and we opened up our first location in Lee Summit, and we started off with pre-sales, and it was just me and the other owner, and like we made a lot of sales together. We both were very, very good at talking to people and the realness of it. And I remember when we didn't open our doors. We were supposed to open our doors in October, and they didn't open until late November. And I was doing workouts in a construction zone, and I would have 2 workouts a day, and they were full. And sometimes we'd be outside, sometimes we'd be inside. And those memories of those women that I started with, and those, thinking about the workouts that I wrote in this just dirty place, like it was literally a construction zone. And we had like these pink bands that were no resistance whatsoever. Yeah. And we did a lot of body weight stuff, and we just had fun. We just hung out. And then when the doors opened, and it was beautiful, and it was a place to call our own, and it was just so settling, like just to know. And, I taught a lot of classes, and that's when I was still being a teacher too. So I would teach the 5 a.m. class. I'd go to school, teach all day, and then I'd teach the evening classes. And so it was grinding out.
You talked, you've mentioned this a couple times. So, when you first became a trainer, you were talking about how basically your conversion on sales were when somebody did, an assessment with you. And then you also just said there that you guys made a bunch of sales. Explain to us why you think you have so much success versus other, because honestly, we
feel like we know, but we want you to say it.
Yeah. But
I think that listening is really important, and asking the right questions. And I've always been really good at reading people because I love people. You can't fake it. And so I love people's story. So I think just introducing and then interjecting part of my story if I feel like that's what
point of relation there.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then pulling in, but roping into that to the end of the sale is usually the hard part, but it wasn't for me. Like it was just like, all right, when can I see? When do you want to sign up? Right now I'll sign up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just because it was relatable, and it was something that they felt like they needed and we needed. Like it was like this relationship that you can't fake it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one thing that some people get greedy, and some people and people don't like fakeness.
No.
Yeah, we try to teach that so much, Missy, in the sense of I appreciate you letting me know that you've had great experiences within our stores and with our people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But the thing that we have to really tell them all the time is the same thing you're saying, is just simply like, hey guys, you have to actually care about them all the way. You actually
can't just fake it at all. You just actually have to care.
Your intentions have to be pure. You have to be on with what you're saying and actually care about what the result's going to be like for them. And that just comes through so easily in the way that you're speaking, that it's like, well, who else is going to talk to me like this? Who else is going to care as much as this person?
Yeah, I was about to say, it seems like
I'm an idiot if I don't sign up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't want what I said I wanted, and that was the one person that said no. By the way, is that they recognize that they're actually not ready.
They're right.
Absolutely, yeah.
This
I don't know if I'm
going to hold
this.
me accountable.
Yeah, and I'm real big on knowing people's names. Like that is huge to me. I was huge on that when I was a teacher, and I'm huge on it as a trainer. And I tell my trainers know their names, because there's something about, you were given that name when you were born, and there's identity behind that. And as soon as I see you as Kyle, and I see you as an actual person and not just another person at my gym, as soon as you walk through the door, hey Kyle, how you doing today? And they're like, you know my name? Of course I know your name. I've talked to you.
And it's also like, oh no, I can't like hide in the back of the class.
No, you can't hide. Even at the other place when we got real successful, we would have 30 people per class. And this was before COVID. hit, and I'd run the 4:30 class, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and then we had to add more classes, and we had some evening classes, and that was 30 people per class. I still knew everybody's name, and it was like for me, it was like a prideful thing. Like, listen, when you walk through these doors, you're going to be known, you're going to be seen, and I'm going to know if you're not here. And then your crew, so then it goes off of my shoulders onto your class's shoulders, because then they create a bond within their class.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to hold you accountable, and I'm just going to know your name, and I'm going to know what you can do.
I think that can't be understated, is just the knowing people's names and like getting really good at knowing people's names, remembering people's names, using people's names. People, like you were saying, it's just people enjoy, when somebody remembers them, they feel like they're spending money in a good way when somebody, hey, I go to this place and they actually remember my name. They actually know me, they know my story. They
know what I can do, like physically.
Mm-hmm.
I know who has bad ankles and bad knees because I pay attention. That's my job as a trainer. And knowing the modifications and always offering up. And I think that's the biggest thing for women too. They come in and they're very nervous. They're very scared. And so then as a trainer, it's my job to make sure that you feel safe, number one, and I want you to be safe, and secure. And so if I'm asking you to do a squat and you're like, I've never done a squat before in my life. And so then, we move to sit down, stand up squats, and we do, we do TRX squats. And we modify until you understand how to do a squat properly before we even add weights. And I think there's something to be said about that. If we ask you to do a burpee, no, I'm going to give you 3 modifications for it.
Yeah.
So then you have options. So she might be doing, Miss Athletica over there is going to be doing, burpee box over jumps, where, we have another girl over here is doing a modified burpee to a step up. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're there, you're working together, and it doesn't matter. So I think those things, and as a part of a women's gym, are so vital, and that's the climate that we built, and it was beautiful, and so we carried that on, from being a part owner there to being a full owner at Phoenix Women's Fitness. We carried on over there, and it's even more so.
When you transferred from being a nice. When you transferred over from being a partner or a partial owner to a full owner, did you feel an increased amount of stress?
Yes, every day, Kyle, every day.
I know that feeling.
Cam's laughing back there for sure. Yeah.
It is. If anybody tells you as a business owner that you get a break, that's a lie.
That's true.
We went to Margaritaville at the Lake of the Ozarks for 5 days.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Say what?
And we just got back yesterday.
I'm
Let
jealous.
me just
Best
tell
5
you.
days ever.
Well, as a business owner, I would turn my phone off for like 4 hours and I'd get back to it, and it's ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
You're never really off work when you're a business owner.
No, and I think that part of the, I think sometimes my best attribute becomes something that's hard for me to be as a boss because I'm so caring and just so like not motherly really, but just like I want everybody to feel good. Like I'm all about like, let's feel good. Kumbaya. Let's go.
Yeah.
You got the empathy. And so it's like, everybody's situation's like, I can see why you feel that way, but you're like, but the business needs to be run this way.
Absolutely. And that's something that I'm learning. And I think it's not very comfortable because I'm not like that. I'm like, I'm a ebb and flow, go with the flow. Like as things are moving and grooving, we're going to move and groove with it. But unfortunately sometimes, it's hard to pull your crew along with you, understanding that ebb and flow.
What's helped me with that is I always frame it in the way of like, you can look at it as being mean, or is my honesty actually the nicer thing to do, right? So if I'm like reprimanding one of our employees, it's like, well, if I don't tell them that and they have this expectation of like they want a promotion, but I haven't told them why they're not going to get a promotion, I'm actually being mean to them.
That's
so
true.
If I'm honest, if I'm honest up front, it makes, and that I've reframed that in my head to where it's like, this isn't being mean, this is just being honest and direct, which is actually the ultimately nice thing.
We talk about it all the time because we have like 30 plus employees now, and it's like, I'm always the optimist on like, hey man, this person can turn it around.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't
throw me under the bus like this.
It's not this person can turn around. Kyle's like, this person is this person.
Yeah.
And this person is not doing themselves any favors wasting their time here anymore.
Right. And I think sometimes like you have to I said I'm a go with the flow kind of person, and that drives people crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
I'm the exact opposite. I go with the flow. So we're good.
Yeah. But you kind of have to be like, we have, so we contract with Redline Athletics in Lee Summit, and we're actually going to be like a more permanent spot. So we're getting a logo on the walls, all that stuff. So they do teens and kids. Our daughter's actually going to be starting there next week. And they do speed and agility for kids.
Oh, that's cool.
We train mommies. So we use that for our morning classes. Our morning classes are bigger. We just opened up a studio in Lee Summit for personal training, small groups, specials like stretching, that sort of stuff.
Sure. Smaller groups.
Smaller groups. Yeah. It's a studio in Lee Summit. So we have those 2 locations. And when you have 2
How
locations.
close are they?
Like 5 minutes away from each other.
Okay.
Yeah. Ideally, it would be great to be right next door, but Redline's in an industrial area, and it's a huge building, and it's, we have access to equipment. The owner is a woman from Springfield. She's an amazing business owner. Like, we have a great relationship with her.
Does she still live in Springfield?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah. And
We came from Springfield, by the way.
Yeah, she has a Redline in Springfield, and then she decided to franchise Redline. And so they opened up Redline in 2020 in Lee Summit. So
very cool.
Yeah.
You were saying though about as far as them having 2 now.
Oh, so as far as us having 2 now, it becomes more to manage and more to when you have your own location as opposed to just contracting with someone. It becomes a whole other beast of employees, like figuring out all this stuff, buying equipment, and just making real life business things.
Managing people is the hardest part.
Absolutely it is. Yeah.
Well, we don't know all the answers, but I can tell you we've been doing it for about 15 years. So
well, you want to help me? Yeah.
No, like we'd love
I think
to
what
I
Kyle
think
said
you're doing
is
pretty
perfect.
good.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's one of those things where managing people, you can read all the books that you want, but a lot of times you just have to go through the situations and to learn from. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes managing people, and I think I've done some good things managing people, and it's like you're just kind of learning along the way.
Yeah, and I think I wish I would have got my business degree. Unfortunately, I have a degree in social work and education.
Yeah, neither of us went business, even though
I know. I'm like, man, if school wasn't so expensive.
Yeah, I did public relations, and he did HRA.
HRA and marketing.
Hotel,
well, you know what
restaurant,
that-
It's kind of business.
It is like
mine is a business.
I mean,
degree.
my minor was marketing. I mean, that doesn't, but I would just say the number one thing that I think that would help, that helped us, I think, is when we started installing core values into our company. Yeah. And so we have this is what our company stands for. This is who we are as people.
That is true.
That's then actually a really good idea.
You just point to those. If if we have core values on our wall everywhere. And so it's like, if I'm in a, some kind of conflict with an employee, I just say,
never personal.
Yeah. I'm like,
never.
It's just that core value that you're not following.
Who we are. And that act that you did right there, that wasn't selfless. And we always say be selfless, and so it's just one of those things where if we're gonna be here, this is what we ask for, and so
I love that.
I don't think we're a great fit for each other anymore, but we still love you, and we still want to keep working out with you and so forth, but not a great fit for Phoenix because that's just not a Phoenix person.
Yeah,
right.
The last thing we say too in an interview is we send them home with a card that has the core values on it, and we say go read our website. It has an explanation of the core values. Actually think tonight, can I live up to these core values? Is this something that is going to conflict with who I am as a person? Because if it is, you should just not take the job here, because we hire and fire by these core values, and you're going to be held up to that standard all the time. And if you're not, then
who you are outside of work has to be the same. Because we talk about that authenticity.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey, if you're the guy that's super friendly in the store, but you're mean mugging everybody at the gym, that doesn't jive.
You can't do that.
We've had that.
Yeah.
We've dealt with that person.
Well, and it's the same as one of our some of our trainers, and this happened so quick. When we opened in June of 2021, and it was just me and another trainer. And I only hired another trainer. I was doing a majority of the classes, and then we grew real quick. And then we had this idea of let's not only make this, HIT classes, boot camp classes. Let's add personal training. Mm-hmm. And so I did mobile training, and I still do mobile training to higher risk population of people. I go to their house, and I actually trained some men. Dan the man, he was in a wheelchair. He had a stroke, and he used to play football in college, so we would play catch with the football. Gave him meaning and purpose.
That's cool.
And he actually was my first client ever. It's sad, but he passed away. But I knew he was entering into hospice and all that stuff. But it was so cool to have those last moments, and that he would laugh, and we would have so much fun. I'd go there 3 days a week, and
that's great. As somebody that wouldn't have any real reason to be happy, you could see that genuine joy on his face.
And it was one of our women's dad, and it was just so. like to watch the process and to be a part of like his end of life was it was cool. Like, and so then I do mobile training. Still, I'm the only trainer that does. Well, I think there's one of our other girls does too, but I'm doing the higher risk population, and I will never give that up. Yeah. So I teach group classes, and I go to people's houses.
So much fulfillment there.
You're just a good person, you know.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Seriously,
it's cool hearing your story because obviously, you know, like I knew you, but I knew of you. We had never met before, I think officially, but like your story is really great.
Yeah,
you know?
it's the beauty of this podcast. It's been so cool to hear that. And
where
you guys are going, I'm excited because it's one of those.
What is the future plans?
Yeah,
like,
you got the second location open now, and it's grow that, or is it? Hey, I want to open up more boot camp style gyms, or
well, just like I said, I'm ebb and flow. So like I don't like to make rash decisions. I get nervous. I guess that's the scared part of me being a mommy and all those things. Yeah. Just to grow our studio and see what happens from there. Would we like more studios? Yeah. Would we like to be like follow Redline? Of course. Yeah. But I mean, there's so many things that we could do. It's just right now we want to focus on like what we have now, and you know, our studio, we have open access where women can go in anytime. We have a workout of the day up. We call it a POD, Phoenix of the Day.
Love that.
And so they can do the workout.
Kyle's favorite band, by the way, in middle school. POD.
Oh, good old POD.
Come on, yeah, I love it.
Come on, dude.
Southtown, that's my jam.
I haven't had a good POD reference in 20 years. So
I had to
there you go, I got you.
I had to sit there and think of a POD song for like 10 seconds. I'm like, Southtown?
He knew all the old stuff. He's like, oh, I know the good POD stuff.
I think we played that on the way back from St. Louis one time.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
Sorry. Go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, so I just think that at this point we're just kind of living in the moment and seeing where we can go from
pouring
there.
into what you got right now.
Absolutely, and seeing
really
you know, we have a lot of ideas on what we want to do and what we can incorporate. Yeah. I also love to do kids fitness, so like doing a little toddler class, like just I just love people like from all ages, and I think it's fitness is not just important for us as adults, but just to show them from the very beginning that move your body. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to do.
And what I love about this is like I've been seeing too. We had another female on here named Melissa. She's one of our best friends, Melissa Gilmore. She started in fitness the same time as us here in Overland Park, and she's opened up a Kid Strong franchise.
Oh, I saw that in Blue Springs.
Yeah, that's not. I think she did the Olathe one.
She did the Olathe one. Yeah.
But there's one in Blue Springs I saw too.
Yeah.
But I just like how awesome because. There was all of my friends did not grow up playing sports. I grew up playing sports, but a lot of my friends didn't. And so they feel so uncomfortable in gyms and stuff. And it's just like, how awesome is it that we're starting to incorporate fitness for kids where it's not PE class, it's not a sport. It's like, no, it's genuine fitness. And they're looking at it as such. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's just like, let's not scare them off. Like, this is amazing. Like,
it's so much fun.
And especially when you go into, you go into puberty and you start, caring about what other people think as far as the opposite sex or whatever. You're just thinking in your head, I need to make sure like I'm in great shape, but you're doing it for all the wrong reasons now. Right?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And so it's just like, man, if we could just teach them from a younger age that like, hey, you should do this because you love you.
That's why I like sports so much.
I do too.
It's
because,
so good. Like,
but for the kids that aren't, that's what I'm saying is that like we grew up with that because of sports, but there were so many kids that didn't play.
Yeah, and just it's like, teaching them to just move their body and not just play because the biggest thing is
looks like.
And it gives them that boost of confidence that definitely, and that's what we hope our daughter has growing up. For sure.
Well, I think
she's already killing it at soccer.
There's a statistic
basketball,
that like your child's a kid's athleticism, or maybe it's their VO2 max or something like that, is directly correlated with if the child grew up seeing the parent exercise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is why I asked you, I was like, did you come from an athletic family? Because usually...
Well, my mom always did sweat into the oldies.
Oh, yeah?
My mom is a very fit
Was that a
mom.
VHS tape?
Absolutely.
You know.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
Come on. I think
sweating with the oldies.
I sweat to the oldies with my mom, of course. When I was like 10 and 11.
If that tape still exists, I would love to watch. I'm like a huge oldies fan, too, so like I would love it.
I grew up watching my dad on the Bowflex in the basement.
Oh, yeah,
you know
there
what I'm
you
saying?
go.
My mom
the
had
rubber Bowflex,
Yeah.
not even the
My mom had a fan bike in the basement.
Absolutely.
She did the fan bike every morning. My dad never exercised.
An old
No,
fan
my
bike
dad's
like
not,
that. If you're in
was it Rod?
Don. And my mom's Rhonda. Yeah.
Ah,
The Wilts,
nice.
they're good. They're real
Don
good people. So my dad, but he was always active, like build houses, do all that. He could do anything.
Sure.
But my mom she's the one that took us to the gym, and like she tried to play basketball with me. No offense, but she wasn't too good.
Hey, God bless her for trying. Though,
I know, right?
Like,
she would play out with me. But.
Yo, kids with basketball now, you're like you watch the 8-year-olds that are good at basketball now. You're like, dude, what in the world is going on?
I mean, like, dude, how about what's his face? Who's like 17 now, has one arm. He's just absolutely a phenom.
I know, it's crazy. But yeah, I think all of that is really important to ingrain in kids. Yeah. So as we move forward, like I said, we just ebb and flow. As an idea, I like one of my best. I'm very creative when it comes to like writing workouts and all that stuff. I'd say that's probably my gift. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, like if you came to me and you said, "Hey, I want to do a sweat into the oldies," with my mom, I want to do a sweat into oldies class. We're like, all right, cool. I'll write the program for you.
Yeah.
Because the good news is that no matter what, like we can do so many things, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So we're really excited for the future. Well, sometimes you get nervous because you're like, sometimes it gets so hard, and you guys know this business. It gets so hard. Sometimes you're like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, is this where I should be?
The
like,
unknown, man. It's so tough.
It is.
Because you have this like, hey, I know this works over here, and you're like, I gotta keep reinventing myself. I gotta keep pushing and evolving, and it's like, but is this the right move?
Right.
And
I think that's the part that's scary. But you know what? We're making it happen, and hopefully it just keeps on happening until we can't do it anymore.
Like with coaching, it's like you're gonna if you make a mistake, we're just gonna learn from it and keep pushing.
Right.
Yeah. I have some completely unimportant questions.
Okay.
But
good.
They're fun. They're fun questions.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Unimportant questions.
They're unimportant because we've talked about so many really great heavy things tonight.
Yeah.
And what I would love to get into too, just because you put so much thought into the things that you do and how you do them.
Yeah.
And so that's why, and I'm somebody who can relate on that. And so with you, no matter where you've gone, you've liked to have that autonomy, like we talked about. It's like like you're putting a lot of thought into this, and sometimes you catch other people that are in charge, they didn't.
Right.
And you're like, but did you think of this first? Like,
right. Exactly.
So like, come on. So when it comes to everything that you do, you put a lot of thought into it, I bet. So when I'm thinking, okay, so like fitness brands, you talked about Miss Athletica earlier.
Yeah.
You're not a fan of Athletica?
No, I didn't say that.
Cam's laughing. She's like, I know Miss Athletica. I know who that. Oh, no.
I'm a Nike girl to the core.
Okay.
You give me Nike and I'm just happy.
Those are your go-to items when you're buying your fitness gear?
Well, not the shorts, because those are made for, teenage girls.
I'm with you.
But like the shirts, the shoes, the socks, everything like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite on-the-go place to get a healthy meal in Lee Summit or in Kansas City? But I mean,
Advanced Nutrition has very good shakes that I go to, and acai bowls. They're really, really good.
The acai bowls there here are really great.
Yes, they're really good there. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
So I go there, just call it up and have it ready to go.
Boom.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yep.
Trying to think of another rapid fire one that's not our go-to.
I would say
I was opening up that laptop to type, and that's why I was like going to write a couple questions, and then it made that noise. So.
Well, I don't know if you want to ask the question.
Not yet. That's the last question. You got to come up with a fitness one.
Oh,
you work out in Nikes too only?
I only work out in Nikes.
Okay.
Metcon runners. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Respect.
Yeah. But I train in my Air Max.
Oh, what gave you the name Phoenix?
Okay, so when all of was transpiring, I was going from one to the next gym.
The rise.
That's right. Yeah. I went through this moment of, I'm gonna have to go back and be a teacher. No offense to teachers, but it's just not where I should be right now, or then even. And so I thought, but I could always fall back and be a teacher because I'm a good teacher. Mm-hmm. Would I be the best teacher? Probably not. So I was like, within that time period, I was just so down. And if you can think of a picture, like if you just see this dark hallway, I was just in this dark hallway, not knowing where to go, not knowing where to turn. You can't see anything. You have no idea what's going to happen next. And then one of my girls texted me, and she sent me a phoenix, and it was a phoenix, but it was a woman emerging out of it. And I said,
oh, cool.
I was like, oh my gosh, that's it.
You still have that picture?
Absolutely, I do.
Very cool.
Absolutely,
I'd love to see that someday.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is, and so at that point, I was like, the Phoenix. That's it. we rise up and we rise up out of every.
And how is that not taken? Like, what an amazing name for a gym.
Well, there are other Phoenixes.
Phoenix Fitness for Women.
Right, no, it's not. It's
Yeah,
not that way.
Nice try, y'all. Yeah.
We won the best gym back in whatever month was that? November, October. Kansas City Magazine was it? And so when we're Googling it and we're looking up, I'm like, oh, it wasn't us. It was this other Phoenix. And so we called up and they're like, no, that's you. And I said, well, you did get the name right.
Yeah, you gotta put the name
You
right.
got to get the name correctly.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's really cool. But yeah, so the Phoenix is just the rise up. That's what we got that from. And
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
cool.
Obviously, it's defines really well what you went through. So
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
And
I feel
it's
like
relatable in other ways, obviously.
That was a good question, though. That was a
really good
That was an
question.
important answer.
Wasn't it rapid fire?
I'll follow that up with a dumb question.
Yeah,
All
he's like, what's your favorite cheese?
No,
I don't
was
eat
gonna
cheese.
say, so sauces, you obviously eat well. You eat, good foods and
Frank's
and-
buffalo sauce.
Oh, that is good.
Have you had the new garlic buffalo?
No, I have
I got it in
not.
the fridge downstairs.
Is it good?
I'm a huge fan of garlic too, so I was like psyched.
Oh,
when
that
I
would be
saw
good,
that.
yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's 5 calories too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But I put Frank's on everything.
Yeah.
Same.
Everything.
You know what's funny?
It's buttery. That's why I like it.
I
It
think
tastes like
you're
it's got
right,
like
yeah.
a butter
Yeah.
taste.
The original Frank's Red Hot factory is actually made in the French's Mustard Factory in Springfield, Missouri.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Just
Yeah.
full of interesting knowledge.
I love that.
And they actually put on a contest, like, let's say 6-7 years ago. Okay. And they put it on. They were going to give away an F-150 that had like the ultimate tailgate package, right? It had like a flat screen TV and a grill and all this coming out the back of it. And there was also like an ATV and a side by side. And anyways, every month they were giving away a different like Frank's themed thing to whoever posted the best Instagram photo with the hashtag. I put that splat on everything, right?
Oh yeah.
And so anyways, I got really into this and I decided to try to compete and try to win the truck. Like I waited to put my submission in till the end because I saw who had won like the ATV or something. And it was like weak. Like it was a terrible photo. And this is like very much in the infancy stage of Instagrams. There was not a lot of competition at this point. And so I went really into it. I was like, okay, I'm at this advantage because I live in the city where it's made. Right. And there's a massive on the side of the I-44 highway. There's a massive Frank's Red Hot sign on the side of the building. Right. It's like 50 feet big. Right. So I put, how they make Frank's in different size bottles.
Yeah.
So I made an entire family out of Frank's Red Hot bottles.
That is
All
awesome.
right. And I went to like Hobby Lobby and had like one of the sweet old ladies there just like tell me how to do this with crafts because I'm not a crafty person.
Yeah.
But she was like, oh, we'll put like some googly eyes on them and we'll make the little boy a little boy by putting a baseball cap on
That's
the
awesome.
little And so anyways, I have this photo. I'm going to show you. And anyways, I freaking lost. Long story short, I lost to this girl who took a bath in Frank's Red Hot. It was just, like red water or whatever. She was in a bath, like cute blonde in a bathtub with her dog.
You lost to her?
Yes. I mean, it was a total sham. But like, wait till you see my family. Basically, I made a fake family of Frank's Red Hot going to see the world's biggest bottle of Frank's Red Hot.
That's hilarious.
Boom. This is my photo.
You lost? That's really good.
Right?
That's really good. And you even have a Jeep in the background?
There's even a little dog,
Oh, it looks like our dogs.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Dude, I put like...
Oh yeah, that sucks, dude. No,
But yeah, dude, anyways, this is my real love
That's
for Frank's.
awesome.
I'm a huge hot sauce fan.
I am
but
too, yeah. That's my favorite.
All right, so for the last question.
we had one more rapid fire.
Oh, I didn't know. What do you got?
It was a good one.
Okay.
I lost it. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. For the last one, so you grew up semi in Kansas City. Lone Jack's like
Lone
30 minutes from Kansas City,
Little
right?
Come to
Tiny
Kansas
town.
City
Yeah.
for cool stuff, though,
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah,
There was nowhere else to go.
So this is our question we asked to everybody because we're a Kansas City based podcast. What is the best barbecue in all of Kansas City?
We just go to Jack Stack, and don't shoot me as a Kansas Cityan, but I don't really eat barbecue.
Oh my
I like their salmon.
God.
Hey, do you like wings?
Yo.
I love wings.
I was
They have
about
the
to
best
say,
wings.
Jack Stack's menu,
Okay, right.
even outside of barbecue, is really good.
We love.
Yeah,
we,
it really
we go
is,
there
yeah.
just for the wings. To be honest with you.
Okay, I need to get their wings, Cameron.
They're
We get
really
wings. Martin
fi-
City has
fire-
really good wings too, by
fire-kissed
the way.
wings. They're
Fire
the
kissed
shit.
wings. I bet. I mean,
Have you had Martin City's wings?
No, we need to. Obviously.
Okay, Martin City has really, really good wings.
They just opened up like. Did Martin City open up like a pizza place too? Isn't it pizza?
That's so in Lee
It's
Summit.
in-
there's it's like a pizza, but it's like bar food.
yeah.
right.
Yeah, so it has
but
the
their
wings.
wings are the shit there too.
Absolutely.
Are they like smoked? Are they
They're
grilled? Or
they're smoked and they are just amazing.
damn.
They're real meaty.
So you're a
Yeah.
wing person.
I'm a
then.
wing person, not a barbecue person.
Here's the question. Here's the last question that we will ask.
Yeah.
Are you a ranch or are you a blue cheese?
I'm a ranch, even though I have a dairy allergy.
So you just suck it up and
absolutely.
You're like, thank you, Missy.
Yeah.
Settled that one.
No. I mean, blue cheese is where it's at.
He's
but
like,
whatever.
dude, blue cheese.
I'll eat it if that's the only thing there.
No, you guys, you guys don't have the palate that I have. It's
This
okay.
dude put a gallon of ketchup on his breakfast this morning.
Oh.
Don't let him fool you.
Stop it, dude. I've been on a ketchup phase. I don't know what it is.
Oh, we have one last question for you, I promise. Is it,
Yeah.
who do you think we should have on as a guest that, who inspires you?
Well, that's that question. I have so many people that I'm surrounded with on a daily basis. When you hear their stories, it's like they're so cool. It's so cool to see the different walks of life and to have one of those people. Like, I'll be honest with you, and this might be like a typical. My mom is like the most inspiring person in my entire life. She's going through breast cancer right now. She rocks her bald head. Like, she's like this cute, like in shape, like coolest. Her story would like make your mouth like just drop, like what she's been through in her life and what she's overcome. And she's literally like the strongest person I know.
That's amazing. What's your name?
Rhonda.
Ron. I already knew this. What am I doing? Yeah. What am I saying? So I had a conversation yesterday with Tori about breast cancer and what we were going to do in October. You want to throw together an event with us?
Absolutely.
You should definitely do that.
Absolutely.
For breast cancer in October?
Yeah. And her hair will still be gone, by the way, too. So she could rock it too. And she'd be in the front center of whatever we're doing. She is like the cool, she'll dance her way. We call her dancing her way through life.
I love
like
it.
She's like this just tiny 5'6", weighs probably 115 pounds.
Is that where you get your energy from?
Absolutely. She has actually more energy than I do.
That's
so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that together for sure.
Hey,
Yeah.
we sincerely appreciate your time today.
No, I
Thank you
really
so much.
appreciate you guys so much. We had a
Tell
lot of
everybody,
fun.
tell everybody where they can find you on like social and do you guys do like if somebody was to want to come?
This was the question I had. I'm so sorry. I'm interrupting because we did a workout where dudes could work out with you
Right.
at this other gym. Do you guys ever
A
provide an
co-ed, yeah.
opportunity?
We do. We do co-ed classes at our studio. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whenever
we
that
have
happens,
them.
we're coming out. For
Okay.
real.
Okay, get ready.
I'm dead serious. Hey, I've done a Missy workout before. I got my ass beat. I'm ready.
The good
I'm coming
news
back for
is
more.
at our studio you can't do as much cardio
Got it.
because it's a smaller space. But we do have cardio equipment, but I don't use.
You don't need a
typically
lot of
do that.
space to do burpees.
That's
though,
Absolutely, you don't.
Don't
And we got
my
those nice
kryptonite.
wooden boxes that you can do burpee box over jumps. It's a beautiful
get
thing.
away a shin on that.
Yeah.
Make Jeff do 10 burpee box jump overs and he's gonna die.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did 100 burpees in 7 minutes, Kyle.
Burpee
And
box
I
jump
recorded
overs
it
are
for him.
This is
Listen to it.
totally
different.
different.
Man.
Kyle gives me zero cred for my burpee skills.
totally different.
That's true.
That's the one thing I'm good at. I can jump. So
You're like, I like them better than regular.
I
burpees.
actually do. Yeah.
Sorry. So let's get the Instagrams out. All the different tags, please.
Yes. At Phoenix Women's Fitness is our Instagram. And we have a Phoenix Studio and it's underscore. So it's Phoenix _ studio. And then is that all the ones you want?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
badass.
yeah. That's
So
it.
if
Yeah.
anybody's listening and they want to come check out the gym,
And it's easy to just Google Phoenix Fitness for
That-
women.
That's right. Yeah. PhoenixWomen'sFitness.com.
PhoenixWomen'sFitness.com is where they can find you on the website.
Yeah. And then it takes you to everything. And honestly, you just look me up, Missy Wilt-Roland.
Do you guys do a drop-in class or anything like that?
We do
for people?
2 free classes. Yep.
Oh, wow. So everybody that's listening could come by for a free class?
Absolutely.
Oh, awesome.
Just hit us up and we can even get you a personal training.
perfect.
Fun, yeah. A lot of
Badass.
fun, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
For you guys listening, if you could please share up the podcast. Protein Bros does not have any kind of ads. We don't sell anything. It's 100% for the community. If you got some enjoyment out of this, we do please ask that you share it with a friend or throw it on your social. And if you are wanting a Protein Bros Miami Vice t-shirt, we still have a handful of them left at each of our locations. Just let them know that you're a subscriber and they will hook you up on the house.
Thank
That
you
is
guys
cool.
so much.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you
thank
guys.
you for coming on.
All right.
Alrighty.